Everyone keeps telling you to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. But what if that number is completely wrong for your life? We're talking about the difference between retiring early with confidence and crawling back to your boss hat in hand after one bad quarter. Let's back up and figure out why this question even matters right now, because somewhere around 40% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing. And these are people who thought they were ready. The emergency fund isn't just a financial tool. It's the psychological foundation that lets you make rational decisions instead of panic decisions. Think of your emergency fund like the oxygen mask on an airplane. You put it on first before you help anyone else, before you invest, before you do anything clever. Without it, every market dip, every job wobble, every unexpected car repair becomes an existential crisis instead of just an inconvenience. Here's where the optimism of the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, ran into a buzzsaw called real life. Because people were retiring on lean numbers right before 2008, right before 2020, right before inflation hit 40-year highs. The headline said, "I retired at 35." And then the follow-up headline 3 years later was a little quieter and a little more embarrassing. The psychological damage of running out of runway is underestimated almost universally. When your safety net disappears, your brain shifts from abundance thinking into pure survival mode. Howard Marks talks about this as the risk you don't see. And he means the risk that turns you into your own worst enemy, right at the moment you need clarity most. History tells us that every generation thinks their situation is uniquely complicated. And in some ways, they're right, but the pattern is always the same. People underestimate sequence of returns risk right at the moment they stop working. The first 2 to 3 years of retirement or semi-retirement are statistically the most fragile, which is why your cash buffer during that window matters more than your entire portfolio's average annual return. So let's talk about what this number actually looks like. Because 3 to 6 months was designed for someone with a stable job, not someone living off assets or passive income. If your income is variable freelance, rental income, dividends, business revenue, you're looking at 12 to 24 months of core living expenses as a more honest target. A common misconception is that money sitting in cash is money being wasted. And that logic sounds smart until you're forced to sell equities at the bottom of a recession just to pay your electric bill. Liquidity is not laziness. It is the strategic reserve that lets your invested assets do their job without being interrupted by bad timing. Another misconception is that your emergency fund and your retirement fund are doing the same job. They are not. They're completely different instruments serving completely different emotional and functional purposes. One is your armor, the other is your engine. And confusing them is like using your car's spare tire as your daily driver. Here's a practical framework. Take your monthly, non-negotiable expenses, housing, food, utilities, insurance, minimum debt, and multiply by the number of months you want covered. If you're still working and stable, 12 months is solid. If you're transitioning out of a job or building a business, aim for 18 to 24. Keep that cash in a high-yield savings account or short-term treasury ladder, somewhere liquid, somewhere boring, somewhere that won't tempt you to just check the performance every morning. The goal is not to grow this money. The goal is to make sure it is exactly where you left it when you need it at 2 a.m. during a crisis. Discipline here means not touching this fund for anything that isn't a genuine emergency. Not a vacation, not a great deal on a car, not an investment opportunity that feels urgent because someone in a Facebook group said so. Process matters more than conviction, and the process is simple. Define the fund the fund, don't touch the fund. The philosophical truth underneath all of this is that financial freedom is really just the freedom to make decisions without desperation, coloring every option. When you have runway, you negotiate better, you invest better, you think better, and you sleep better, and that compounding quality of thought is worth more than any single investment return. There's also something freeing about accepting that you cannot predict the future. You don't know when the market drops, when your health changes, when the economy shifts. So instead of predicting, you prepare. Comfort with uncertainty doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from knowing you've built a buffer that buys you time to find them. Start with 1 month, then build to 3, then quietly and steadily push toward 12 because the direction matters more than the destination in the early stages. And momentum is its own form of confidence. The person who is calmly building their reserve while everyone else is panicking is the most powerful person in any room. And if you're ready to put that foundation to work, whether that's through real estate investing, home contracting projects, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below and let's help you get started.